Let's dive into understanding how perfectionism leads to procrastination and what are the most important learnings to overcome them. A medical student studies for an important exam, and he has been stuck in his studies for a long while. He started at the beginning of the book and covered a couple of lessons. Each time he returns to his studies, he again starts from the beginning, trying to repeat what he learned and trying to make his understanding of these first lessons perfect. Every time he wants to go to the next lesson, a strong resistance arises, and he only can do what he has done yesterday. And in all this process, he's actually not aware that he feels a deep anxiety underneath. The therapeutic session with the student reveals that his father has really high expectations of him. He wants his son to become a doctor so he can be proud of him. And when we go into students' subconscious beliefs and intentions, we find two main themes. One is that the student wants approval and acceptance of his father, but he doesn't think he can rise up to these high standards. And he finds that procrastination is a temporary escape from consequences. Other, even deeper theme hidden in the student's subconscious is his desire to be accepted and loved by his father without the need to adhere to the high expectations, to be loved for who he really is, not for his ability to get a medical degree. And by procrastinating and not performing to father's standards, he believes he is creating opportunity for his father to prove his son, the student, that he loves him regardless of performance. But these subconscious games are not likely to bring our student what he desires. Let's go back to our trail of thought and linking our procrastination with perfectionism. Later on, we will come back to our student and see what he can do to change his situation. In this video, we will explain typical characteristics of a perfectionist, how perfectionism leads to procrastination, and we will focus on what our student can do to achieve his desires. Let's start with the perfectionist characteristics. Perfectionists are having excessively high standards. They are overly critical about themselves and others. They struggle to accept compliments and recognize achievements. And one of the most important characteristics is that perfectionists feel anxious. As a consequence of these characteristics, we will often overburden ourselves with the tasks because we do not trust others to do it. We will also do our tasks much longer, trying to go up to those excessively high standards that we have. And we may be continuously under pressure to perform those tasks, which creates anxiety deep within us. And if you're going through all those difficult feelings, pressure and anxiety, procrastination may seem as a great escape mechanism from it. We practically delay the consequences. This seems easier than facing criticism or even rejection. Now let's go back to our medical student. We have seen that he deeply desires acceptance and love of his father. And his subconscious mechanisms are trying to get him there. How exactly? His subconscious is creating situations in which our student is not performing up to his father's standards, hoping that his father will show unconditional acceptance to him. But we all know from our life experience that this type of behavior typically creates deeper misunderstandings and conflicts. The way to overcome this situation is to go back to its root causes. Each traumatic experience and difficult situation in life has specific learnings hidden behind it. In this case, our student is presented with life challenges in order to learn certain life lessons, not the exam lessons. And these lessons, in his case, were first, being honest with himself about what he really wants, which means deeper connection with intuition. Second, being honest about his desires with others. He actually didn't want to go to the medical school in the first place, but he was afraid to share it with his father. Which leads us to the third learning, bravery. He needs to master bravery, no matter what the consequences of his decision are. He needs to be fine with any of the options that can arise from his decisions. First option may be that his father listens to his desires and supports his decisions. Second option is that his father doesn't support him. This can mean that the student may have to become financially independent or work or support himself to achieve his desires. Or the third option is to be anywhere between these two extreme options. These types of learnings free us. Practically, once we adopt the learning, the situation we were in, the challenge we were in, actually is not there anymore, or it changes its form. If we consider these situations as our teachers, we may even feel gratitude for what happened to us. But let's not be overly ambitious and go one step at a time. For the purpose of this video, I have simplified the process and the learnings. Of course, this process can entail facing difficult, deep emotions. And we may also face challenges in the learning process. How do we go about becoming more brave? How do we go about becoming more honest if this wasn't our practice before? For this purpose, you may want to use some of the therapeutic methods, which includes Paradox 6. I have helped numerous clients to deal with their perfectionism, procrastination, and anxiety issues. If you would like to find out more about the Paradox X method and the sessions, please follow the links that are provided in the description. You can use any of the contact details provided in the description to reach out. You may want to know more about perfectionism, and for that, you can watch our video, Am I a Perfectionist? And what are the causes of perfectionism?